The NBA draft was pretty interesting, having a lot of surprise picks going higher than expected, and with that, we got a ton of players going lower than expected. So today, we'll be discussing the 5 biggest steals of the NBA draft. But before you do anything, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and comment what I should talk about next. But anyways, let's get straight into the video. With the first player of this video, we'll be discussing Keon Johnson, projected to be a top 10 player before the draft and ended up being 21st overall by the Los Angeles Clippers via the New York Knicks through trade. Keon Johnson was a great player with Tennessee, averaging 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists while shooting 44% from the field. But the most impressive thing out of everything was his NBA draft combine, recording a new NBA record with a 48-inch vertical. After that, I expected for his draft stock to be even higher after seeing how he could possibly use that 48-inch vertical to his advantage. But during the draft, he surprisingly fell out of the lottery and went with the 21st overall pick. If the Clippers can use Johnson properly, this could without a doubt be one of the biggest steals, if not the biggest steal of the draft, and we're just getting started. With the second player of this video, we'll be discussing about Sharife Cooper, projected to be a top 25 player before the draft and falling out of the first round going to the Atlanta Hawks with the 48th pick. Cooper had an insane year with Auburn, averaging 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists. Cooper was in my eyes a top 5 point guard of this draft class, and that's pretty much shown with what he could do on the court. He has a lot of moves in his game when it comes to driving for the layup, and he practically lives in the free throw line, averaging 8 free throw attempts a game. With a lot of teams in the first round in need of a point guard such as the Rockets, Knicks, and Clippers, I was surprised that he wasn't selected, and the fact that he almost fell to one of the last 10 picks of the draft is even crazier. The Hawks got a steal with Cooper, and we're not done yet talking about a steal from the draft selected by the Hawks. With the third player of this video, we'll be discussing about Jalen Johnson, projected to be a lottery pick, falling to the 20th pick by the Atlanta Hawks. Johnson had his year cut short after deciding to leave midway through the season, averaging 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. Johnson was a great player but inconsistent from time to time, but he's more of a potential pick, similar to how Jonathan Kuminga is. Watching Johnson, it sort of reminds you of how LeBron James when he drives through the basket, and if it works out from the NBA, that comparison wouldn't be too far off. And no, I'm not saying he'll be near LeBron's level, but he could definitely play similar to how LeBron does scoring-wise. With that, the Hawks got 2 steals with Sharife Cooper at the 48th pick and Jalen Johnson at the 20th pick. With the fourth player of this video, we'll be discussing Jared Butler, projected to be a first-round pick and falling to the 40th pick by the Utah Jazz via the Memphis Grizzlies. During the season with Baylor, Butler put up some great numbers, averaging 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists while shooting 47% from the field and 41% from 3. Butler was a big part of Baylor's successful season, helping them win the NCAA championship. With the Jazz needing a backup point guard, Butler is a steal, especially at the 40th pick. The Jazz traded the 30th pick to the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies drafted Santi Aldama, and I find it funny how the Grizzlies traded their second-round pick to the Jazz, and the Jazz drafted Jared Butler, because it feels like those players should be switched spots, Butler being the 30th pick and Aldama being the 40th pick. I'm sure Butler will prove the teams that passed on him what he could do, and I'm sure the Jazz will be happy with their pick. And with the fifth and final player of this video, we'll be discussing about Charles Bassey, projected to be drafted around the start of the second round and falling to the 53rd pick by the 76ers. Bassey had a great season with Western Kentucky, averaging 17 points, 11 rebounds while shooting 59% from the field and 30% from 3. As a big, Bassey seemed to have interest by a lot of teams, and I was pretty surprised that he fell all the way to 53. Teams like the Raptors and Kings could have used the center like Bassey to provide big man defense, rebounding, and consistent finishing at the rim. The one good thing that I hear nobody talk about with Bassey is his shooting. Bassey shot 30% from 3, but showed some great potential that he could be a decent shooter when given a few years in the league. I also really like this pick for the 76ers because recently they lost Dwight Howard and not having a good backup center, and I think Bassey could definitely take that role for the 76ers next season. And that is it for you guys. I hope you'd enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and comment what do you think about my opinions, what do you think should be changed. And anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.